What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So, I sold the Tom DeLonge Squire Strat, and I had some money from that, and I was thinking, what should I try out? Right? Like, I want to get something else, something different. And I say something different. For me, it kind of wasn't something different. The LTD, the video for the LTD is like the best video I've done so far. And so that got me thinking, what other like really good budget, like Les Paul single cut style guitars are on the market, and what, competes in this kind of price range / quality range, whatever, right? So, like kind of what exists there, what competes there. I started looking through some things, and I came across this. This is a Harley Benton 25th anniversary SC single cut. So, I was looking at this guitar, and brand new, fully shipped to me. It was like taxes and VAT and import fees, everything. It was like $350. If you live in Europe, it'll probably be a lot cheaper than that because Thomann ships from Germany, so we have to pay like import fees coming in here. But $350, and so I was looking over the specs of this guitar and watching some other YouTube videos about it. Look at this neck, by the way. Let me just interrupt myself here. Look at this neck. This fine maple neck is ridiculous. So I have a little bit of a backstory with Harley Benton. So a couple of years ago, before I started doing YouTube videos, I'd bought a Harley Benton, and it was a DC Junior, like the little TV yellow double cut LP Junior style guitar, and that guitar was not great. I did not like it. The bridge on that guitar, was like a wraparound LP Junior style bridge, and you couldn't get it low enough. Like decked all the way down to the body, the strings were still like this high off the neck. It was ridiculous. I put like 8s on it so I could try and play it. It was terrible. That guitar was like $180 or something. Like, I don't know. And it had these. So I work, as everybody knows, if you've watched the channel before, like I work for a guitar company, and I still work for the parent company of the guitar company. That is a classical string instrument company. And I spent a lot of time playing and checking out instruments that are built in China. Violins, violas, cellos, basses, right? And those instruments, a lot of the lower end ones, when they get shipped to you, they have these strings on them. And I don't really know where these strings come from, but they have some kind of like residue on them. And when you play them, they leave these lines in your hands, like these like black lines. It's like some kind of metallic dust or something. It's awful. And I've noticed it for years on like really cheap import, like upright basses and stuff, like the kind of strings they would put on them, like the factory Chinese strings or whatever. And that really cheap Harley Benton had those same kind of strings on it. When I first started playing it, my hand was just like covered in this stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just like the really cheap import like upright basses that we get in that have these really nasty strings on them. So that was a bad impression. First off, I hated that, and then I couldn't get the bridge low enough on that guitar to even like play right at all. So that guitar was a mess. And that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth for Harley Benton. And I would keep seeing videos of people hyping them up and saying they were like the coolest guitars ever. And I can't believe they cost so little and they're so high quality. And I was like, I don't know what guitars you guys are seeing. But over the years, I'd played a few more, done some setups on a couple, and was like, hey, these seem a little better. So I thought, why not? I'll give them another chance. And, you know, I'm not really a Strat guy anyway, so the Tom DeLonge Strat was just like a cool project I wanted to do. And so I figured I'd move it, and because I need another single cut for some reason, right? So I saw this kind of like, they call this Firemist finish, this gold top Firemist, and it looks really awesome. So I figured I'd get this and try it out. So this guitar, the 25th anniversary SC, it comes with a gig bag, and it comes with like a lanyard and some other kind of like 25th anniversary stuff for Harley Benton, which is cool. But I'm gonna go over a couple things about this guitar, because this video is gonna be a little different. Not like super different, but I'm gonna do something after the demo that I normally don't do. But first, let's get into the specs of this thing. So 24 3/4 scale, just like a Gibson or the LTD is, right? It has an Okume, maybe I'm saying that right, Okume body. It's like a mahogany derivative. It's got a good weight to it. It's not super light, but it's not, you know, 10 pounds either. Like it's good. It's full thickness. It has locking tuners on it. They're Harley Benton branded locking tuners, but they work and they feel good and they lock good, so no problems there. The flame maple neck, you know, looks amazing. You know, the scarf joint there kind of makes the flame look a little goofy, but looks really awesome for a, you know, sub $300 guitar, right? Like I think retail on this is like $279 or something like that. So taxes and everything got it up to about $350 for me, but that looks great and it feels awesome too. It's like a satin, it might even just be like raw wood. I don't know. It's very smooth though, very nice feeling guitar. See the fretboard I think is Laurel maybe. This guitar has stainless steel frets on it, which is crazy for a guitar in this price range, and they feel great too. So let's see what else. This guitar has this cutaway, or a cutaway, this neck joint kind of thing, and the cutaway kind of going on here, right? And at first glance, I thought, man, that's really great. You know, anything that isn't just like a giant block of wood like a Les Paul has on the end of it, right? And when you're sitting down and playing the guitar, your thumb kind of naturally just goes here. Like your hand just goes here. If you're sitting like this and you're playing, it just naturally goes there and fits, and you can get to the very last fret, no issues. And I thought, man, that's cool. That's really awesome, because I was sitting here in my chair in my studio playing the guitar like this. And then I took it to band practice, and I stood up, and I put on a guitar strap, and I wear my guitars about like right here, and you can see how like blocky and pointy this top part is. Like, if you're looking at it top down, it looks a little wacky. See that? See how like sharp and that is, like pointy that is, and like abrupt that it is. So when you're sitting like this, you never notice it because your thumb is going to come into the neck like this at the bottom. But if you play like I do, live, low like this, you're hitting that, and it's kind of terrible. And like a regular Les Paul neck heel is just smoother and better from that perspective. If you're going to stand up and wear the guitar kind of low, that sucks. So that was kind of an interesting thing I came across that I didn't really expect. Because when I first took the guitar out of the box, I saw this, and I thought, that looks a little abrupt and kind of weird and like angular. But as I was sitting here playing it this way, I was like, oh, cool, not in the way. But the minute then it's all up in your grip and in your hand and everything, and it's a little strange. So they could kind of maybe like I don't know, do something about that. Again, $279 guitar though. So for them to even attempt a feature like this on a guitar like that, cool, you know. That's more of a like, I wouldn't even call that a con, really. That's just more of a like the way I play kind of thing, the way I, you know, wear a guitar. Whenever if you wear your guitar higher, that probably won't be a problem at all. But the two things that I did have a problem with this guitar right out of the box was when I took this out of the box, it's got push-pull coil splits for the pickups, which is great. I went to pull this one, and the knob broke. I mean, I'd had the guitar 45 seconds, just taking it out of the box. Pulled that, the knob broke. I had to super glue the inside of the knob back together and put it back on the guitar. So, kind of cheap. But again, a sub $300 guitar. But if this was the only guitar you had, or you were a younger person, a kid or something, and you were getting this guitar, and that happened, that would super bum you out, right? So, you know, a little better knobs maybe. And then the switch works fine, but it feels awful. It's super loose, like the positions don't just catch, you know. It's a really cheap import style switch, so that's definitely a weak point. I'm probably going to change that out at some point. And then, kind of like I said with the LTD stock pickups, the pickups for this, actually, I think they sound better than the LTD stock pickups did. These Roswell pickups really don't sound bad, but they don't sound great either. They're just kind of pickups. Like, they make sound. Said the coil tap thing is neat. But yeah, really cool sub $300 LP style guitar. For what it is, I'm super impressed with it. The neck has no business feeling this good. It really doesn't. Like, if all of the necks feel this way, buy one of these and just gut it and swap out the knobs and the pots and stuff and everything else. Like, just, it'd be a great mod platform because this neck feels so good. The satin finish with the stainless steel frets is crazy fast. And the neck, thing I like about it is, the thing I don't like about Epiphones is how they have like that D-shaped neck and they have kind of those shoulders and they don't feel like Gibsons at all. This isn't like that. This is like a good proper C-shaped neck. It's a little fat, but not like 50 Les Paul fat. But it definitely doesn't feel like a modern neck in terms of like the thickness and stuff. In terms of like the smoothness and the playability and stuff, it does. So if you like a modern feeling neck that has a little bit of thickness to it, this is it. This neck feels great if that's the kind of thing you're into. So I did the demo with this guitar totally stock. All I've done, I took it to band practice, so I put clip locks on it, the Marzio clip lock straps, but I haven't done anything else to it other than fix that volume knob that broke. But what we did with the demo was, I thought since this was such a cool like budget guitar, I didn't want to plug in to my interface and pull up all my super like fancy expensive plugins that I've spent money on and use that stuff, because I thought, you know, if you're on a budget, there's a good chance that you might be using like some free plugins or, you know, something like that or whatever. So all of the plugins I've used on this demo, except for my drums. My drums are Easy Drummer, Tune Track Easy Drummer. Just because that's what I have. I bought it, I have it. I don't have any other drum plugins, and I was like not going to spend the time to like find some random free one and download it and try to get it to work. So I just used that. But I think Easy Drummer is like $100, $150 or something like that maybe. I could be totally off on that. I bought it a long time ago. I have Easy Drummer 2. I bought it a long time ago. Easy Drummer 3 might be like way more expensive than that. I don't know. But everything else was free plugins. On the guitar plugin, I used a amp by Nilex, I think. It's called the Crunch something. Out after the demo, I'm gonna do we're gonna come back and I'm actually gonna open up my Reaper session and we'll go through. So this video is gonna be a little longer, but we'll go through the Reaper session and I'll actually show you all the plugins. So I use a free amp sim plugin. I use a free cabinet IR loader plugin. I used a free tube screamer plugin I found. Free EQ. Same with the bass. I used a free Sans amp plugin and free EQs and all that stuff. Even on the mastering and stuff for this thing too, the mixing and mastering of it too. So I used as much free stuff as I had, because when I first built my studio rig, I did what a lot of people do. I got on YouTube, I looked up all the free plugins I could find and downloaded them. And then over the years, I started buying other things and collecting software, but I still had all that stuff on there, so I pulled it all up and used a bunch of free stuff on this. So it was really cool, and I think it turned out really good. I was actually really impressed with how they sounded and with how these pickups sounded. But you know how I am. So we're not going to leave this guitar stock by any means. And keeping with the theme of it being a budget guitar, I wanted to get some budget pickups. And I was kind of hell-bent. I really wanted a double cream pickups in the gold top, Firemist, whatever you want to call it, finish. If you know anything about the whole double cream pickups, DiMarzio kind of has a monopoly on that. And if you're going to get double cream pickups that aren't DiMarzio's, they're usually custom wound stuff or something like that, and they cost a lot of money. So I didn't want to go that route. I tried to buy another set of Roswell pickups because Roswells are what come in that guitar. And so I went to the Roswell site, but I couldn't figure out how to buy Roswell pickups. I found one site. They wanted me to buy 10 pickups. It was a wholesale site. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So, because I wanted to keep it budget again. And then I remembered that a lot of Harley Benton guitars have Tesla pickups in them. So I looked up Tesla pickups and found some on Amazon. And so that's what we got here. We have the Tesla. What are these? The Plasma X1 humbuckers. So I was looking for some very specific specs. I wanted an Alnico 5 bridge pickup around 14, 15, 16K. And I wanted a neck pickup. It could have been any. I'm not super picky about my neck pickup magnets. It's Alnico 5. And it's 7, 8K, something like that. So that's what I wanted spec-wise, and I found those in the Tesla pickups, and I found them in double cream. And it was $100 for this set of pickups. So we are going to try the Tesla pickups out in the Harley Benton, see how they look, see how they sound. But I just wanted something a little hotter. So the Roswell sound good, but they're vintage PAF style pickups and kind of stuff I play. I really got to run, when I was at band practice the other day, I really had to run my amp a little hotter. Plugins, recording too, I had to crank the gain up and hit it with the boost pedal plug-in and all that kind of stuff to really tighten it up and get it where I wanted it to be. So hopefully these will solve that problem for me. It'll just give the guitar a little more juice. And more importantly, they'll look super cool because they're double cream humbuckers and a gold top Les Paul style guitar. Right, so that's going to be the next video. We'll swap these pickups in and I'll compare them to the old ones. But like I said, we'll come back after the demo and I'll run you guys through the plugin chain real quick and show you all the free plugins I use. So if you're interested in any of those plugins, look them up, download them. They're free and you can get really good tones out of them. So here we go, demo. I tried shooting this like in a more professional way than how I'm doing it now. I actually like screen cap recorded my computer and took video with my phone, and then I did like the picture in picture, so you had all that with like mic audio and stuff, and it was really nice. And for some reason, when I would click on this window right here and have this window open with the effects chains on them, they just didn't show up on the screen cap. And I have no idea why that is. I've never had anything like that happen before. It was so goofy. I tried it like 3 or 4 different times, and they would just never pop up. So here we are doing it like this. Anyway, we're in the Reaper session for the demo, and as you can see, I have my 2 guitar tracks up top. Got 1 pan hard left, 1 pan hard right. We got a lead track in the middle. We got drums, bass, and then down here we just have like a guitar EQ bus. So I have the rhythm guitars routed through that, and it has an EQ on it. So if you can't really see what's going on, I'll try to explain as well as I can. It would have been a lot better the other way, but hey, gotta roll with it, you know? So here we are. So what I used for the guitar tones were this plugin right here was the amp sim. So this is the Nilex Crunchman, and this is like a Friedman BE kind of plugin. You know, Friedman amps are like really hot rodded Marshalls. So this is a super cool free plugin, and this amp sounds really good, but it's like literally just an amp. There's no cab model, there's no effects, there's no overdrives, there's no nothing. It's like literally just an amp head. So you need to download a cab IR, and you need an IR loader plugin to run your cab models through. So I have the STL Tones Ignite Amps NAD IR dual cab processor, and it comes with a bunch of speaker IRs already in it when you download it. So what I wound up using was the 412 V30 SM57 center. So that's going to be like if you had an SM57 on the center of the speaker cone, blended with an SM57 off axis. So it's the Friedman technique where you have like one SM57 dead on the cone and another one at a 45-degree angle like this. It's basically what it is. It's great for metal guitars. That's usually what I go with when I use this. A couple of things in front of it. G-Tune by GVST. It's just a tuner. Even here you can tell what that is. It's a green pedal. TSE 808. It's a tube screamer from TSE Audio. And this is a really cool plugin. Throw it in front of any amp sim you have. It sounds like a tube screamer. And then the kilohertz gate. It's just a noise gate. So use that chain on both rhythm guitars. That was all the rhythm tones that you heard. And it's routed through this guitar EQ bus over here that just has the free Reaper EQ plugin. So if you know anything about Reaper, you know that Reaper is like technically not free, but the prompt to get you to pay for it just pops up indefinitely. I paid for it because like I record people, and it's a little annoying if that little prompt keeps popping up every now and then in the middle of a recording session that's like, hey, pay for me, and you're like, no. So I eventually did pay for it. It's like $60, and you get all this stuff though. I mean, it comes with all these plugins, EQs, and just it comes with so many plugins. I haven't even like gone through them all yet and tried all of them to see what they all do. So Reaper is a really good way to get started. If you need a DAW and you just don't have any money, Reaper is a great way to get started, and then eventually pay for it, but you don't have to right out the gate, which is a really nice feature. So got that running through the Reaper EQ. to kind of shape the tone a little bit. Onto the lead track here, I use some similar stuff, you know, same things, the G-Tune, the 808, the gate, but this is the Ignite Amps Emissary by STL Tones, and I use this for the leads, and this is a super cool amp plug-in. Again, it's just the amp head, so you need the Ignite NAD IR that goes with it, right? But this one has 2 channels, a clean and a dirty, and it's got like bright switches and all kinds of stuff. And if you go to the back of the amp, you can pick which tubes it has, EL34, 6L6s, KT88s, and you know, you can sit here all day and argue how much of an impact that's going to have on the sound of this thing, but if you're a guitar dork, and if you're watching this channel, you probably are, it's just a cool feature. I like EL34, so I have it set to EL34. Who knows if it's doing anything, but it's there. It makes me think it sounds better anyway, so, you know, there's that. I won't say sounds better, it sounds more the way I prefer, so whatever. And then last but not least, again, the Kilohertz effect suite is great, so find that. It has a ton of stuff in it. As you can see, I've used the gate, the delay. It's got some really awesome plugins in it. Drums, you can see my drum plugin up here. This is Easy Drummer 2, and like I said, this isn't a free plugin. This is the only plugin I can remember, other than like Reaper. This is the only plugin I can remember paying for. I've used some free drum plugins before, and I always found them kind of lacking. So if you're going to put money somewhere, put it into a good drum program. Easy Drummer, Superior Drummer, Get Good Drums. And the cool thing about these is once you get something like this, they're expandable. They have libraries that you can buy and load in, and you can just keep adding on to your drum library and have just almost an infinite amount of drum samples and tones and stuff. So if you're going to put some money into something, this is the place to do it. So that's the drums. Now onto the bass. I use my P bass. Again, the G-Tune by GVST. Kilohertz compressor this time. The kilohertz distortion. And all that's going into the TSE Audio BOD bass overdrive, which is a Sans amp. So it's the same company that made the Tube Screamer plugin, and this is a super cool bass tool. It sounds like a Sans amp. It's super killer. A little EQ from the Reaper EQ on that too. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Got a little master chain down here, doesn't have a lot on it. This is a super cool free plugin, and I definitely recommend you find this. The Loud Max by Thomas. See if we can find the name here, because I'm going to butcher it, because I'm pretty sure it's German or something. Thomas Munt, M-U-N-D-T, Munt, Thomas Munt. The Loud Max limiter. This thing's great. It just keeps you from peaking. Super utilitarian thing, but really awesome to have. And then I have this Eosis de-esser. Maybe I'm saying that right. I don't know. This is really cool kind of mastering thing. If I'm being completely honest, I still don't exactly know what it does. I just figured out I even had it the other day. I don't know where it came from. It might have come in like a big pack of stuff I bought, to be fair. I don't know if this is free or not. But I don't remember specifically going out and buying this thing. So if this isn't free, I apologize. But if it is, even if it isn't free, I would have had to acquire it in like some mass plug-in bundle I bought for not a lot of money. And this thing is super cool. It's done a lot for the mastering of this demo track. So check that out. Yeah, but I kind of figured the whole point of this was like, you know, if you're spending less than $200 on a guitar because that's the kind of budget you have, you probably also don't have the budget to go out and buy a whole bunch of like neural DSP or STL tones or slate or anything like that. Like, you might not have the money to go out and do that kind of thing, right? Some of those plugins can start to rack up. Like, on projects I do for clients and stuff, I use the Slate mix rack stuff, and it is like a subscription plugin, right? The Slate Digital, Slate Digital Virtual Mix Rack. I use that a lot for stuff, and it's like a subscription based thing, right? So maybe you can't do that. Maybe you can't afford that, right? So I figured that this would be a cool kind of tag on at the end of this video, keeping with the whole like budget theme, to kind of get you up off the ground, right? You want to start recording at home. You can get you an interface fairly affordable. Most people already have some kind of computer or something. You don't need a super nice setup like I got here. Like, you can literally just have like a laptop from Best Buy or Walmart or something, right? And you can get you a little 1-2 channel interface and download Reaper and download these free plugins, and you're boom, you hit the ground running, right? That's where I started. And once I started learning more and acquiring more stuff and collecting more software, upgrading my computer, etc., all that stuff, now I have, a whole bunch of different tools to choose from. But got to start somewhere, and this is a super cool place to start. There's a ton of cool free plugins out there, and I don't know, I just thought it would be a helpful kind of tip at the end of the video here. So hope you guys liked the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Tell me about what kind of free plugins you're using. Tell me about Harley Benton guitars. Let me know if you have a cool Harley Benton. The first one I had was kind of a bust. Really kind of left a bad impression on me for them. It took me a while to give them another chance, but I'm glad I have, because this guitar is super awesome, and I can't wait to upgrade it and see how those pickups sound. And I just really like the guitar. I think it plays great. I think it feels awesome, and it's definitely going to be a live guitar for me in a band I'm in, where I might not necessarily want to haul around like my Les Pauls and stuff sometimes, depending on being used, where we're going, whatever. I'll just take the Harley Benton. So, hope you guys liked the video. Thank you for watching. I'll be back next week.